months ago, in summertime, I have performed a range test at 110 kilometers constant speed on Autobahn. On this Autobahn, I am going to drive approximately 209 kilometers. And after 209 kilometers, we are going to check what kind of range we are getting in winter time today. Because 3 months ago, the result was 323 kilometers with a full charge. Now I am charging up the car, and we'll see in winter time what kind of range we are going to get. And actually, it's not too cold today. The temperature changes between 8, 9 and 10 degrees. If it gets lower, I'm going to show you. So 3 months ago, after 10,000 kilometers of driving, MG4 luxury 64 kWh version, we are going to see the winter performance range at 110 kilometers per hour speed. Let's start. I have reset the trip computer. Now it's time to start our 110 kilometers constant speed test in winter time while HVAC heating is on. Outside temperature is 9 Celsius degrees and it's windy. Cruise control set to 110 kilometers per hour. Temperature 8 Celsius degrees. We have just passed the first 100 kilometers mark, 101.5 kilometers, 19.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers consumption, average speed 105 kilometer hours. I have tried to keep up 110 kilometers as much as I can. So see you at next update. Hello again guys, while driving the car, I just would like to share some info about my experience after 10,000 kilometers of driving MG4 luxury 64 kWh version, especially about the driving range on long trips. I have performed long range trips tests at with different speeds: 90 kilometers per hour speed, 100 kilometers per hour speed, 110, this is the second 110, the winter test, 120 kilometers per hour speed, and 130 kilometers per hour speed. Among all these videos, tests, and after 10,000 kilometers, I realized that the optimum speed is 110 kilometers per hour at when you are having long journeys with MG4 luxury 64 kWh version. Probably it is going to be same for the other electric cars, because you know the electric car and the battery technology is not too different. For example, there is also an interesting thing. 3 months ago, when I was performing this test, the temperature was between 19 and 20 Celsius degrees, but the road, even it was summer, was windy. Today, after the first 50 kilometers, the wind just cut down. I'm not sure. I have another 100 kilometers more, but at the moment there is no wind. After the first 50 kilometers, there was no wind, and the temperature is 9 Celsius degrees at the moment, 10 Celsius degrees less than the summertime. So it should be effect, right? It's 50% less temperature. But in my experience, and I was always mentioning about this, the temperature is not that important, because after a while you are driving the car, the battery keep discharging, and while that discharge process, it warms up, just like the remote control vehicles. If you ever use any remote control vehicles with LiPo batteries or lithium-ion batteries, their batteries always get hot after a few minutes of using, because they are discharging power. But wind is not the same thing. If there is a wind, it affects more the range than the temperature. For example, now there is no wind, and it is always the same consumption 3 months ago in summertime, but with 10 degrees lower temperature. It's interesting, and I am happy that my theory is right, because the biggest enemy of the electric car range is wind, not the temperature. 110 kilometers per hour constant speed test in winter is finished. 210.3 kilometers, 19.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers consumption. Average speed is actually 104 kilometers per hour, but as I keep stopping, it keeps dropping. I tried to keep up at 110 kilometers, but there were some tolls and trucks, so I have ended up with 104 kilometers of average speed. And my cousin and I were in the car also in the summer. Exact same people were in the car, exact same route. 10 Celsius degrees colder. Only difference, today there was not too much wind and the consumption is almost the same compared to summertime. This was a very interesting test. Yes, we have tested the range on a specific speed, but the most important thing, look at the trees. They're almost not moving. Even it's winter time, it has almost the same range with the wind summer range test, because there was no wind. So this test also proved that wind has more effect on range than the outside temperature. So is there anything else that I want to mention? No, I hope you find this video helpful. As always, thank you for watching and have a great day.